Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls. Welcome to this, another brand new day. A brand new day filled with hope and promise. Thumbs up for that. And, of course, for the Shelton, Washington Weather Plague Rat and Spider Report. For the weather, it's going to be a warm day. It's just been sunny and warm. It used to get, 8 years ago, on September 1st, it was cold. You had to wear a coat. Or you were freezing. It was cold. Now it doesn't get cold until, maybe midway through October. And it doesn't get cold. That happens in like January. So, yay, the world is on fire. And for the spider report, oh boy. First I'll start with the basement. I don't know why I call it that. First I'll start with the bathroom. Downstairs, there was a little spider on the wall. So I tried to get it and move it, but it fell onto the floor and ran away. And so I was like, oh, that's fine. I just didn't want it on the wall because from where I would have been, it would have been right there. So I had to move it. But at the base of the door frame, as I'd mentioned, there was a spider there before. I checked on it. There's a different spider, maybe? It's hard to say. They move, they travel, hard to say. But it was a spider that made a web that was busy finishing off the remains of a wolf spider. So, woof! And it was of the same size, so it must have been a pretty tough battle. Thumbs up for that. Now, up in this room, there was that garden spider that I've talked about up at the juncture of wall and ceiling. It had moved out and a little down. And I was like, you're probably going to try and build a web there. So I got a stick and I tried to move it. And I did. At first it came down and came down on a line onto some cables and such. I have on a side table here. But I was able to just take a thing, pick it up, and then I just moved it onto the other side of the room, onto one of the hamster cage. Yeah, hamster cage lids. Oh my gosh, my pop shield. I got knocked it down. That's terrible. Hopefully I wasn't too plosive into the microphone. But I moved that spider. I don't know what happened to the large garden spider. When I knocked over its web yesterday, it just vanished behind something. So it makes me sad. But when I came in here this morning, there were some baby spiders. There was a baby spider on my monitor, and I tried to move it, but it was too quick and went zoop, and I couldn't get it. And then another baby spider here, and then there was another baby spider. The two that I could catch and relocate, I moved down over here so that they'd be safe, but not in my way. But I was pretty excited. I dashed over to the window because it was like there is a spider with an egg sac there. Did the egg sac hatch? No, not that one. She's still protecting it and such, so it's gonna hatch at some point. But there must have been another egg sac, or like I say, the window over there is open 24/7. So they could have just flown in on web, as spiders do. So, but it was nice. I actually had been thinking the other day, I was like, there's no more baby spiders around, and I was feeling sad and lonely. But now there's some more baby spiders, so I don't feel so sad and lonely. Thumbs up for that. Now, for the Plague Rat report, no clue. Didn't actually go to Safeway last night. I made a greater walk than I usually do, of greater length and such. Well, when I say length, I walked further than I normally do, but I didn't stop at Safeway, so I just walked a lot further than normal. But I was still super fast. When I got back here, it was like maybe an hour had passed, and I walked further than I usually do, and it usually takes about an hour and a half or longer to walk, so I was zooming and booming. And the thing too, as well, if you've ever watched my walkies videos, especially my last couple, where I'm walking out on the train tracks, on this one section, there is quite often deer and baby deer and such right there. And if I'm too close by the time I notice them, because I'm in my own little world, and you have to look down at the ties to make sure you're not going to fall and break a leg or crack your skull open. So I'm quite often I'm looking down to make sure I'm not going to get hurt, so that by the time I notice that there's deer, I'm like right there. Well, this time, because I've not wanted to scare them and I'm tired of doing that, I've been scanning up in the area before I get out there and then try to see so that I can not scare them. And there were a whole bunch of deer out there again where I would have normally been walking. They were too spread out. When I have noticed them before and I've been too close, they're usually more towards the woods side of the tracks, and then I can angle my upper body away and turn my head enough and then use my peripheral vision to make sure I'm not going to fall and get my head cracked open, because I don't want them, freaking out over the predator-eyed thing watching them. So I try to not look at them and just go by quickly. But they were too spread out. It just wouldn't have worked. So, well, didn't go walking on the railroad tracks yesterday. Starting to, inhale my own saliva there. My apologies. So instead of walking on the tracks, I made sure the deer were fine and just went walking around other places instead. Thumbs up for that. Yay! Now, let's see. Yes, I wanted to actually kind of talk about this one. I've got some story ideas that I've been thinking of, and one of them is really silly, and one of them I'm not quite sure what to do with, because this one is directly taking place in a cosmic horror type thing, because I've mentioned before that there are beings of power, and beings who don't have power, you can start to be walking on the path of power, and you may get to the point where you can walk between universes, etc., etc., if you get powerful enough, and there's power level names until you can get up strong enough that you're almost walking among those who are cosmic horror power. Now, the stronger you get, the more incomprehensible to normal people you become. So to us, it looks like you're becoming, well, insane, powerful, incomprehensible, non-human until you're just... But to you, of course, you're just, well, you're walking a path of power. You're not changing, everybody else is. Thumbs up for that. But in the one story idea, there is a being of power who is being chased by something else and ends up in a universe like ours, a variant, of course, since I write about multiverses. And it stops here. And he's the kind of individual that just puts enough effort in. Like, if you're being chased, as soon as you get hidden, wait 5-10 seconds, listen to make sure you're not being followed. You know you need to go and hide further, but it's like, whew, I got time to rest. And then the next thing you know, 2 hours have passed, and then you're starting to hear the thump, thump, thump of approaching footsteps, and you got to take off again. That kind of individual. So ends up running, landing in a universe, saying, oh gosh, I gotta keep moving, listening, saying, gosh, I am hurt though. Let's go see what the locals taste like to heal up. And then 50 years later, still here, now taken over a city, only not taken over as a being of power, masquerading as somebody, Silas Grimby, like a 45 to 50-year-old man in charge of a media empire. Has a whole bunch of people that are just absolute sycophantic toadies. Has taken over a city like Chicago and declared it theirs. And the thing is, nobody's fighting. And whenever the government says, okay, we're going to send in the National Guard and they're going to take care of the situation, they send in the National Guard, and as soon as they sit down, they say, we are for you. And they just turn and start attacking against the rest of the place, the U.S., because the being of power, the Kekire, just says, okay, oh, you're not on my side? Bah, Now you are. And so is in, after 50 years of this sort of thing taking over, because it had come from a universe very similar to ours, about 100 years more technologically advanced, so has access to remembering all these things, the advanced manipulation techniques, knowing what the internet is and what you can do with it and all the modern technology, and then taking advantage of it, and then not needing the technology to be able to do a lot of things, which confounds the rest of the world because it doesn't need a machine. It can cause troubles just by looking around the world and going, oh, you would be good to be on my side. Now cause havoc. And so, living like a king, just taking on and relaxing and forgetting about the thing that's out there still going, oh, yes, and following the trail. So a story that doesn't really end with people that are affected being able to chase the thing off or destroy it, but it should have been running and wasn't, and the thing catches up. So that'll be interesting. The other short story, it's more of a short story idea, even though it could be like a series. This one's a fantasy novel-like idea. The fantasy genre thing. It's about a lich, a powerful wizard, which, if you're powerful enough, you're narcissistic and powerful. What else could you be if you wanted to become so powerful you want to live forever after your death? As a lich, a skeleton, a powerful undead wizard and warlock. This being does this. This warlock does this. And then after the death of the body is that living skeleton. And is like 100 years into that construction of a huge underground magnificent castle. And then suddenly realizes that's boring. It's dull. Sitting underground, just collecting stuff. He didn't go through life just to bury himself. And so gathers up a whole bunch of its ministers together. Let's go of all the monsters. Cancels construction entirely on the dungeon complex. Tells its trusted advisors what it's going to do, gathers up a few of those that are with it, and they head out and go adventuring. Because he's bored. He goes looking for other powerful witches, warlocks, liches, other creatures that are powerful, and then invades their dungeons just to bust them up. Because he's bored and wants to have fun now. So that's a thing I'd want. It's like, hey, the lich arrives in this one town and city. He's narcissistic, but he's bored. So he's not going to destroy anything. He's going to lay low, go into places, find out where the next thing is. And then go, oh, you hear that? To the 2 or 3 are with them. It doesn't drink in bars, but the other advisors that are still alive do. And then they head out and bust the place up. So that could be interesting. It could be fun. It's something I want to work on. Always thinking on my other story ideas, too. I haven't forgotten Sid at the Clown's Head Motel in the middle of some place with a desert right next to an abandoned cemetery. Which, of course, is Sid is just the human manifestation and charade of Tithwart, a very powerful Gakiri. So, thumbs up for that. Past that, just living, working, doing things, trying to survive. Yay! When I fall asleep, as I frequently do, unfortunately, after I eat a meal, that just, because I stop breathing when I sleep, because of my sleep apnea, I suffer from hypoxia, which is lack of brain deoxygen. lack of oxygen to your brain, which is bad for your brain, bad for your heart. The hypoxia hurts me enough that when I do fall asleep in here in my chair, my motivation and ability to do anything is destroyed for the rest of the day. I didn't play anything yesterday, game-wise, because I fell asleep up here. It just destroyed my motivations entirely. I hate falling asleep without my sleep apnea mask, but when I fall asleep in here, it comes up on me like a freight train. By the time I even realize that the tracks are starting to vibrate under my feet, it hits, and I am out. So yay. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab, and I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people for having left me a comment. I'm not reading the comments right now, except I accidentally do anyway, so thumbs up on that. I'm just thanking you for having left a comment. Thumbs up. If I mispronounce the username, and I probably will, no disrespect is intended. I am an American English speaker, and even though I count in American Sign Language on the fingers of this hand, with my depression, fibro, ADHD, and more, I'm lucky I can remember my own name at times. My memory is getting better, but one day I'm going to hit a functional limit. So we have Gamer Chris, who keeps changing their name. Thumbs up. And good to see you. Carlos Rob, thumbs up. L. Syfiq, Syafik, no ideas, but thank you very, very much. Christian De La Cruz, thumbs up. Matthew Devine, greatly appreciated. Kathy Kisscat, thumbs up, and good to see you. Original, good advice, thank you. And then we have Bullcrap TV, good to see you. Original, no, that would be Cupid Shellbow, because I'd already thanked original before. Cupid Shellbow, thank you very, very much. Mohammed Fares, I hope I'm close, thank you. Sebastian Ferris, good to see you. Jorva Chan, I sincerely hope I'm close, thank you very, very much. And Lazy Mode, thank you very much for the advice. I am going to do that to my map, I promise. Colin Reisner, thumbs up. And Elder Wolf 569, thank you very, very much. We have Francisco Valdez, greatly appreciated. I'm Temper, oh, hello. And then Luca Faria, greatly appreciated. Lizette, thumbs up. We have Wow Emily, greatly appreciated. There's Mr. Sony, thumbs up. And Dante approves, greatly appreciated. Rosario Buenafe, nowhere close at the end, but thank you very, very much. Russian Timing, good to see you in the comments. And then we have Hokey Smokes. Ghosty Guts. There we go. Finally found somebody. Thank you all, each and every one of you, whether I thank you or not. It is appreciated. You get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people, and that is very, very appreciated, because when you're depressed, you need to get other voices than just your own in the echo chamber of your skull. If you could check out my various links down below, I have Twitter, Facebook, GoFundMe, Patreon.com. If you could donate to my GoFundMe campaign or become a Patreon.com patron, like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. And if you'd like to help me out without sending money to one of those two places, I have a PayPal link down below. And if you'd like to help me out without sending money, I have an Amazon wish list link as well, with things like cat food, hamster bedding. If you could check it out, that would be very, very cool. Now, do not feel obligated. I do not feel entitled. And if you cannot donate, or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart, where I draw interest. So thank you very, very much. If you could toss me a like, I appreciate all the positive validation I got for my existence, a definite thumbs up, and of course, if you could subscribe to the channel and hit that bell. That would be very cool, greatly appreciated. I would understand if you did not wish to, but if you are down with it, I will do my best to keep you entertained for, well, until I kick off of whatever horrible thing that's going to kill me in the end. Thumbs up for that. We all die. It's not just me. I mean, unless the whole world has been lying to me this entire time. Anyway, though, I have this video that you've been watching. I have another video I have to record, then edit, and then render for this afternoon. So I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be busy, and it's going to be hot. So I'm going to try to keep the fan on, keep it cool, and, oh boy, try not to fall asleep. So, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, my friend, and that is a very, very good thing. So, Practice your self-care. Wear a mask. Practice your social distancing. Black Lives Matter. But it's just like when the Trumpers were busy knocking other boats underwater and the boats were sinking and they were saying, help with our boats. And having other people yell, all boats matter. Well, yeah, all boats matter, but, these boats are in crisis. Yeah, all lives matter, but black lives are in crisis. Let's take care of the crisis. Then we can deal with everything else. Take care. Have a great day, and I'll see you.